that didn't come later, but I knew that I needed to find music again, to find my happiness. So I came back to Australia to get involved in TV work and music, and lots of just struggles and you just...
And good evening, Australia. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kuzilny. Tough times never last, but tough people do. You know, about 30 years ago, I joined the police force and I saw so many deaths. I saw Hoddle Street. I saw, murders. I saw young kids being killed in car accidents. And I realised how many people go through difficult times. And then after that, I became a criminal defence lawyer in the courts for the last 20 years. So I thought it'd be nice to have a show where down-to-earth and authentic people come on the couch without wearing their masks and just share their problems to inspire other people that tomorrow is a new day. So if you're going through some difficult issues tonight, love and best wishes tonight. Tomorrow will be a new day. On tonight's couch, a lovely lady called Veronika Larson. She says that at 16, since 16, her life has been a mess. She's been raped, she's been on drugs, she's been strangled. But hello, Veronika.
Hi.
You know what? I'm glad that you're laughing now because, if you don't laugh, then, you have to cry, don't you?
True. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I was originally born in Melbourne. I left when I was 10. My family moved to North Queensland, which was a massive shift. Five children, yeah.
Was it a happy growing up?
I actually don't remember much of growing up in Melbourne, but I do remember being on stage.
You loved it?
I think that was my
loved
happiness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can see like the stage and the lights, and because I got the gold medal, 5 years in a row was calisthenics and.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that was my happiness, yeah.
And when did you get into the drugs? That's interesting. When did you start taking, what drugs? Cocaine, was it?
No. I think it started with just smoking cigarettes. At about 16, I think it would have been. Mm-hmm. Of course, I was in Cairns then. I shifted friends, started hanging out with a girl, got into smoking cigarettes. Then it was the drinking at night. And then of course, it was at parties, marijuana cigarette was passed and it went there. I think it was mostly that. I'm trying to think whether... I think I took a few acid tabs along the way.
But you're saying when you got to the nursing, you got onto the coke?
Oh yeah, that was... because I think I was stressed and I was studying.
Tell me, Veronika, I'm just trying to get the timeline. You're growing up in... Cairns.
Yeah.
And what did you do after school? Tell us about those tough times we discussed.
Well, once I got to Cairns, I sort of got involved in music, so I was good and happy.
Yeah.
But it was when I quit music and I didn't have... I taught myself how to type because I was bored. And through boredom, I think I started to then hang out with this girl and then sneak out at night. And that's when starting to roam the streets at night. And
right.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Actually, what's coming to my vision at the moment, actually, lots of visions actually. I was outside a skating rink and I was really, really drunk, vomiting, and I finished up in the back of her father's ute. I finished up back home. Then I stayed friends with that girl until the point where I visited her and she was with a boyfriend, and I remember the whole unit, the floor just was drying of marijuana. And I can still remember that feeling of, this has gone too far. This is too much for me. But then I didn't have any other friends, so I just continued going out by myself. And I'd already pretty much was an alcoholic. I was really binging it heavy every weekend.
How old were you then, Veronika?
16.
And Veronika, when did you get into the nursing?
That wasn't until that was after the army.
Yeah.
I went into nursing.
Oh, tell me about the army, sweetie.
I joined the army because, I applied for the Air Force, got accepted, mechanical engineers, but they said you'll have to wait 2 years, and I really wanted to get away from home and I wanted a career. And so they said, join the army. Okay, went into the army, went off down to Sydney, got in, but they didn't give me the job because women weren't allowed in that section. So that was a big...
What year was that, Veronika?
I don't know, go by year. I was just turning 18.
You were just turning 18?
Yeah, because I turned 18 just upon...
And what did you end up doing in the army?
Well, I was bored. They gave me this clerical job that I used to finish in about 4 hours. I just used to roam around chatting with all the electrical engineers.
Oh.
Thinking, well, that's what I was supposed to do, but I didn't get the job.
And then you were saying in the notes during the army time you got locked up for a while?
Yeah. First, I went AWOL because I was fighting my case. And
What
I
case?
Because because I refused to sleep with the RSM.
Oh, were they quite sleazy, were they?
Oh, yeah, I was the only woman, and I was told that if you don't get on that bus, and the bus was full of drunk men, and they vomited, they threw stubby bottles outside, and I went higher than the RSM and asked the ASM, can I get permission to not go on the bus, because I didn't feel safe. I didn't mind going there, but travelling home I knew they were going to be drunk.
So they were quite slimy, these blokes?
Yeah.
And you made a complaint?
Yeah, I finished up flying to Cairns and speaking with the Member for Parliament.
And what happened then?
And the letter, I was told by the Member for Parliament that I wasn't to be apprehended because they were doing an investigation and they found out the RSM had actually caused problems in Darwin at the unit before.
So to cut a long story short, the army wasn't the best time for you. What happened after that, Veronika? I'm trying to get this on.
No. Well, see, of course, it ended in jail, which was horrific, quite horrific. So I think I was quite traumatised after I got out. I was quite a shaken mess.
Yeah.
And I went into nursing to get away from men because I'd survived so much abuse from men that I was still searching for the career, you know.
Sure.
So I sort of raced off into the nursing thinking I just wanted to be surrounded by women.
Well, you've had some interesting careers. You wanted to help people. Where did you end up doing nursing?
That was Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane.
Yeah, we might talk about your nursing career, but that's an interesting growing up. Tough times never last, but tough people do. We've got Veronika on the couch, back very shortly. Don't go away. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and thanks very much for coming up in the street and sharing your stories. You know, it's funny how a lot of people in society do go through difficult times but are too scared to share their difficult times. And there's a lot of people around Australia and around the world who are suffering in silence, you know. A lot of people going through separation, maybe you can't see your children, or addictions, or social phobias. Some people have got cancer, so we all suffer. You know, life's really about a mixture of pleasant and unpleasant experiences, but I think when we do go through difficult times, and we all go through them, it's important to surround yourself with people, and people you can trust, and that makes you feel a little bit better. You know, I use meditation, folks, to just detach myself from all the stuff I see around the courts and the criminal justice system. Just spend 15 minutes in silence every day and you'll really see a great benefit. Veronika Larson's on the couch, spent some time in the army, then she did nursing, but she says since the age of 16 her life has been a mess. Now I'm going to take her to Thursday Island, where she got raped by a bunch of very sleazy men. Veronika, Thursday Island, did you have a nursing job there, did you?
Yeah, I did a six-month contract. And then when that finished, I started working as a teacher's aide. And that was all good. And I felt as though things were starting to shift. I was starting to drink less. I became friends with a lady, and her brother owned the Aboriginal hostel where I lived. Things were going good, and then I was invited to a 21st party, which was not a big booze up, it was just a big food festival.
Sure.
So I went to that, and I was only a few blocks walk that I'd walked millions of times home. And Wayne, the manager, sort of left early because he had to start work early. And then I was only like 5 or 10 minutes after him, and I started walking home. Must have only been about 9 o'clock. But just before getting home, I was grabbed by one of the islanders.
And what happened, Veronika?
He just grabbed me and just grabbed me off down the sand, and it sort of happened so fast. And he's a big footballer. You can look at the size of me, I'm tiny. You know, and he sort of just pulled me down, and I mean, how I remember, you know, his hand, and I can still smell the smell and the sweat dropping on me.
Sorry to hear that, darling.
The sand's cold, it's damp. Yeah, it's humid. And then he just sort of took off, and you just automatic reactions. You just get up, pull your pants up, and kind of run. And I was.
Did he jump on you, or he went through the full act? He actually raped you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did rape me.
Were you screaming at the time, or?
Well, I couldn't because he had his hand completely over me. I remember sort of wrestling.
And what happened then? Was there?
Because that's why he put my hand.
Because on Thursday Island they've got police and nurses, haven't they? Did you report it to the police station?
Normal reaction. I think I was 21, 22. Normal reaction as soon as I get in, shower, and I was just crying, and you just stay in that hot shower and just. It is a normal reaction to do that because of the smell. And then I went off to my room. And I just remember lying and dozing. And in the morning I went to Wayne, the manager, and told him what had happened. And he said to me, you better not say anything because you'll go missing, because a lot of the nurses go missing up here.
Do they?
So, and I'd been raised to...
That's a sad shame. You haven't had a very good experience with men, Veronika, have you?
I did later. We'll talk.
We'll talk later. I like that. I like that. There's.
I've been really fortunate.
I like it, folks. How even if you're going through some difficult times, there's no way out. You just have to go through it until it all passes. But there's always beauty in a messy life, and I can see you smiling. You say you've been raped twice.
Yes. Yeah.
When was the other time?
I was in Canada, and I was fruit picking. And all the backpackers used to hitch 1 kilometre down to the main town to get their shopping. And I hitched, and I just got in the wrong car. And the minute I got in, I just knew there was the gun, and I just felt his energy was not right. He was not happy at all. And he told me he was going to give me a lift just down the road, which was really short, half a kilometre. And so I just quickly started talking, and okay, and then I realised he passed, and I said, so where are we going, and we're going to go downtown, you can come out and party. I could tell he was really drunk and stoned.
How old were you then, Veronika?
About 25, 26. Anyway, then he just veered off to the left to a track. And as us living in Australians, we don't live with guns.
No.
But maybe they do.
He held you at gunpoint?
Well, he had the gun there and he was sort of stroking it.
And what happened then?
Anyway, he took me off up into his cabin, which was right up in the bush there. No lights anywhere. By the time we got up there, there was just a couple of little lights. And my night vision, which I discovered when I was in the army, is absolute crack. Right, I can't see anything at night. So I couldn't jump out. That's what I was doing. In the car, I was thinking, can I open the car, can I roll out, do a stunt sort of.
And what happened, Veronika?
I went up there and 7 hours. 7 hours I went for.
You were held a prisoner for 7 hours?
Yeah, yep.
Unlawful imprisonment and repeated
He had the gun
rapes.
by the door and the gun was in the lounge.
Jesus.
And we sat at the kitchen table and he kept on making it quite clear, and he threatened to kill me and chop me up and put me into the bush. He said, because nobody would even know that I was missing. I had a boyfriend.
Sounds like that Australian movie that what's it called? God, Veronika.
He tormented me. He kept on tormenting and saying, and then then he'd sort of turn and then he'd say, well, actually, I really like you. You're really nice. You're so strong. Why can't the Canadian women be like this? And he'd sort of snap and turn. And I tried to sort of calm him down, and because he was sort of. I gathered that through talking to him, he'd been to a party, he'd obviously got knocked back by some girl, and he was angry and he was bitter, so I was the target.
God bless you, Veronika.
And I just
Did you escape from there? Because he could have killed you.
Well, I didn't know what to do. In the end, he just kept on saying, nobody's even going to know. You're a backpacker. Nobody knows where you are.
We might continue on that story after the break, but God bless you. I feel for you. Jeez, that's a shocking story, isn't it, folks? So many people get themselves into the wrong situations, and a lot of the time the perpetrators don't even get charged. Back very shortly. And thank you very much for watching. Love and best wishes to everybody on the couch tonight. You know, when I go through my self-pity parties and I think about my problems sometimes, and I hear some of the wonderful people on the couch, it really makes me realise that, hey, our problems aren't that big. Everybody suffers. Everybody's going through something. Poor Veronika here was telling me about a rape on Thursday Island, where she got held down and raped. And then a few years later in Canada on a working holiday, she got held hostage and got repeatedly raped for 7 hours by a dirty, drunken man who got rejected at a party. But then she used her army skills. And what happened, Veronika? You punched him out?
Well, I snapped. I think I felt so worthless in the end. I thought I'd spent all this time trying to calm this guy and try to be friends and ask him to just, let's go out, you know. Or
Is this while he was raping you or afterwards?
No, this was before. And then after, you know, the sex thing, whatever we want to call it, sex, rape, I mean, so it just, I mean, he couldn't even do anything in any case. I mean, he was so drunk.
Oh, so he wasn't even like this?
No, I mean, he was useless. I mean, I think I just snapped, and that's when I grabbed the rifle and just thought, I've had enough of you. And I just lost it. And I just started punching into it.
Good, let it all out.
I was on the bed and I really
let it all out.
I lost it. I lost the plot completely and just started kicking and punching. I didn't care.
No.
I didn't care. He could kill me. Yeah, I said, will you kill me then? If I'm going to kill.
I would have run, Veronika. I would have run away.
Well, he did. He really got frightened then.
Good on you.
He said, all right, I'll take you back and all this. Calm down. And I was just like so fired up. I just didn't care.
And Veronika, knowing you would have thought he's got his punishment. Karma will get him. You didn't even report that to the police, did you?
Well, I did.
What do they say?
Because I was so angry, I thought, well, the last bastard got away. This one's not going to. I'm sick of this happening to me.
What did the Canadian cops say?
So I went down. No, first of all, I found my boyfriend and we went down to, we had to go to we went to the police and then we went to the hospital. That's not nice. You lie there getting checked. And
Did he end up getting charged, Veronika?
No.
Why?
Word against word. I was apparently doing it to get my boyfriend jealous.
Veronika, moving right along, because it's such an interesting life story, and you hit rock bottom when. Tell me about when you had to
once I got back to Australia, I came back to Australia to get involved in TV work and find music again because I knew I needed that for my happiness.
That expression.
Yeah.
Because you're an opera singer, aren't you?
Yeah, light opera, theatrical singer, and I knew. That didn't come later, but I knew that I needed to find music again to find my happiness. So I came back to Australia to get involved in TV work and music and lots of just struggles and you just, I mean, I got rid of the drink and the drugs and, I was clean, but nothing was, coming together.
Tell me what happened.
Just accommodation and,
No, tell me the stomach. You had your stomach pumped. You were saying that in the break.
I think my whole past eventually caught up with me. I think I'd been working and blocking, and eventually when I slowed down, everything just reached a peak and I just became emotionally numb and I wasn't focused at all, and I was put to a psychiatrist, a lovely old lady that specialised in women that survived a lot of abuse. She saw me once a week. For a whole year, I did not speak to anybody. I saw her once a week. She was my lifeline.
Wow.
And I just lived completely shut off.
Veronika, sorry I can't cut you short because the media time's so short. During those times, did you ever try to take your life?
Yeah, that's when I reached completely bottom. And when I had to find other accommodation, I came across a really sarcastic, rude lady on the phone, and I just thought, that's it, I've had enough. And I had this whole bottle of lithium that I'd stashed in the cupboard that I'd never taken because I didn't need it, but I knew that it was really lethal, being a nurse. And I took the bottle and made the lady listen because I wanted to hurt her.
God bless you, darling.
But I didn't know that I was hurting myself.
No, but you survived.
Well, I came across a nice lady on the phone. I kept on phoning. You don't plan on overdosing. You go into a numb state of, you're not even fully aware. You just, a real numb state. And I can't, no, you're not.
Veronika, moving right along, and I'm sorry to interrupt, you've got a beautiful 12-year-old son. Yeah. Who's the father?
Oh, he lives in New Zealand.
He's a good man?
Yeah, he's a good man.
Okay, he's a good man.
Yeah.
You
he's
spent
a
some
good man.
time together.
Yeah, no, he's a good man, yeah.
One child?
Yeah, no, one was...
Lost another?
Yeah, I had the one before was pretty sad.
God bless you. What happened there?
At 31 weeks, I went in for my checkup and they found, straight away the nurse was, oh, hang on, we need to get the doctor in. I knew straight away by her reaction, oh, something's really not right here. And they said the baby just wasn't growing. I was rushed off to the hospital, told that the baby was going to die that night. Of course, I didn't sleep, so I just stayed awake, sort of in shock. And then the next day, they do horrible tests.
Veronika,
yeah.
Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Is life worthwhile living?
Yeah. It's actually the best that it's been in my life.
What are you saying to people out there who don't want to wake up anymore? They want to take their lives tonight because life has just built up so many pressures. People who want to kill themselves, what do you say to them?
I think the key is to find that one thing that gives you relief, whether it be meditation, gardening. For me, it was singing, dancing, anything. It doesn't have to be interact with other people. Probably best not to be around people when you're that low. And something that is nurturing you, that gives you that sense of free peace, separation, something that makes you happy. And people always said to me, or the psychiatrist always said to me, hang in there, Veronika, because that singing will earn you money because it's keeping you alive.
And that's what you're doing now, isn't it? You're going around to nursing homes and you're singing.
Yeah. And I'm working on a tribute, hopefully, for the Mourning Valley.
Veronika, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. We'll have you on again, but that's a great compact version of the great lady Veronika Larson. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. I'm glad you're happy. And I'm glad you're happy, folks. Tough times never last, but tough people do. See, people do go through some amazing life journeys, don't they? But things always get better. Love and best wishes. We'll see you next week. Good night.